Welcome to the BankFirst Ranger Hour. Super Talk Mississippi 93.7 Spotlight on Northwest Community College. And you can listen to our live stream at supertalknorthms.com. Just click on the link for the BankFirst Ranger Hour. Now, here's your host, Gary Darby.
It is that time, a Thursday version of North Mississippi Spotlight, in which we call it, as you just heard, the BankFirst Ranger Hour. So welcome into the program on this Thursday, June 27. We appreciate your attendance in today's program. And let me tell you what we have coming up on the show today. A couple of students will be with us. We'll go by phone and talk to a young man that participated in the National College Rodeo Finals, participating in Northwest Community College, and one of several that went over and competed. We'll talk with Laine Moore coming up first at around 9:15 when we find out a little bit about Laine and his journey through rodeo and what it was like this past season as a freshman. We'll take a little pause. We'll come back and get a sophomore student by the name of Ava Rogers. Ava will join us and talk with us about her experience as well. She's a rising sophomore, orientation leader. We'll talk about all the orientation sessions, the things that are going on the Northwest campus as we speak and getting ready for the fall with her. So we have a couple of different things to get into today on the program. We'll remind you of what's going on at the Heindel Center this weekend. It's a busy time there with a great artist coming through North Mississippi. So all of that is on the schedule today for the BankFirst Ranger Hour. Second half of the program, we'll talk about orientation again, what's going on the campuses in the summer with sophomore Ava Rogers. But next, after the break, we'll go to Albertville, Alabama, where I'm going to do a little catch-up with one of our rodeo participants and an area that I'm very familiar with, living in the Huntsville and Madison, Alabama area for about 4.5 years or so. Catch up with Laine Moore next. He, a great freshman, part of the rodeo team, made it to nationals. Laine Moore joins us next.
This hour is everything Northwest. Your connection to Northwest Mississippi Community College and powered by BankFirst. Thanks for joining us on the BankFirst Ranger Hour. Join the conversation now by texting 662-426-1093.
Don't forget also later on today, this will be in podcast form wherever you go and listen to your podcasts. Maybe you missed something along the way. You want to check it out. The BankFirst Ranger Hour will be where you find those podcasts later on today. Second half of the program, sophomore student Ava Rogers will join us. She'll talk about orientation, things going on in the summer, but now getting an opportunity, and you people are just going to have to bear with me at the first part of this because I'm going to Alabama for a little bit in my mind and talking about some places that I'm very familiar with and live close to because our guest is from Albertville, Alabama. Laine Moore's on the line. Buddy, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's been a couple of years since we kind of got back over there. Took the kiddos to Cathedral Caverns, did a couple of other different things in and around the Huntsville area, Guntersville Lake. You're a little bit below that in Albertville. We were talking, off mic and during the commercial break about the things that are there and going on. There's a lot to offer in the area where you grew up in, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's, with being the river, mainly with the lake and stuff at Guntersville, there's a lot to offer down there.
There's no doubt about it. That's just a gorgeous place, and spent some good times over there. So I'm kind of excited to get to talk to someone. I know probably when you saw the phone number and the text message, you were wondering, all right, why is this dude got this area code? But there we go. Now we made the connection. Albertville, Alabama to Senatobia, Mississippi. How did we get there? How did we get to Northwest Community College?
Man, I had been going to a different college, and I was rodeoing some, and I had talked, and I had actually Will Loomis had actually talked to me about coming over there, and that's really just where it started.
obviously his success and what he has done in what you do, whether it's the steer wrestling and the ability to talk to you about roping and things, we're going to get to that in a little bit, had to play into it, right? You're going to go and be at a school where one of the best to do it in the United States does it. That has to be a pull.
Oh, 100%. Like, you know, when you get a call from him, or when Will Loomis calls you, you know, you pick up the phone, especially when you're trying to go rodeo and go to school for somebody that cares as much about it as he does, and you care as much about it as you do. You want to go rodeo for somebody this guy that, you know, that of course has got the drive that you got.
Laine, when did you say to yourself growing up, you know, I want to, you know, do what you do in rodeo in whatever skill it might be? You know, there's so many different things to choose from and to get into. When did Laine say, you know what, I think I want to try this?
Well, you know, early on, my pawpaw actually started roping over here before they even knew what roping was. And then my dad rodeoed my whole life, and then you know, I didn't start roping till I was 8 years old, and just kind of fell into it.
So we've got you mentioned that, and there is like in Batesville going on this weekend. There is a rodeo that's a benefit for that the sheriff's putting on for different things over there, and it goes from the bull riding down to mutton busting, right? You got the kids jumping on there and doing those kinds of things. Rodeo's obviously something that's big, not just where you're from, but now growing and doing, I think, a little bit more over here in North Mississippi. So we'll probably see some of the youngsters, like you're talking about yourself, getting that early start and doing things. What made you choose then what you do? Team roping, steer wrestling, what took you into that area? Was your father part of that? You just mentioned Pawpaw there as a roper, but is that kind of why we went into the area you did?
Like my pawpaw roped. He actually, when he started, they roped tie-down calves.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started growing up, my dad was rodeoing a bunch, and he was a team roper.
Okay.
And I grew up and started team roping. My mom team roped. The whole family team roped.
Gotcha.
And then go ahead.
Take us through what that means, right? As a team roper, and correct me if I'm wrong, when you were in Wyoming at the Nationals, it wasn't another member of the Northwest team that was with you, correct? That you were with someone else?
That's right. I roped with Tanner Brown out there that was from the East Mississippi Community College.
So how do you guys do that? I mean, what kind of practice? I guess you had to do something leading into the event. You're at two different community colleges in the state of Mississippi. Now you're out there in the national finals. How did you get the work in to be prepared to do and get the results and the high results that you guys did?
Well, we're from two different schools, and Tanner roped, we got to rope together some before then, but we really didn't get to practice like we wanted to before the finals. And Tanner ropes good enough. He just he practiced at his own thing, and I just practiced at my own thing. And then when we got out there, we just put it together. All
right, are you the one that roped the head, or did you get the legs? Which way were you? What were you? Were you first?
Yes, I roped the head.
All right, so lead us through that, because obviously, if you don't make that toss and you don't get it just right, then the whole team it's gone, right? So tell us about what you have to do to get that going on, to get things started in a team roping event.
Well, in the team roping, when it all starts, you back in the box on the head side, and you're behind a strap that's across the front of the box. And you pretty much have to give the cow a head start. If you break that rope, it's a 10-second penalty. And So my job is to just make sure I don't break the barrier, and just make sure. My job is to make sure if I turn the cow, make sure I get it around the horns and get the cow turned left so my man can do his job.
College National Finals Rodeo in Casper, Wyoming. Where did you guys finish in the team roping?
We won the fast time in the short round, and we won fourth in the average in the nation.
Very nice. What was that experience like for you? As an individual, I know you were out there with other people from Northwest as well, but what was it like being around a rodeo like that at the end of the season?
Man, like, you know, in the bigger, like the PRCA, they got the national finals, and that right there, to me, as growing up, and especially when I got on into college, wanting to make the college finals for so long, and then you finally make it, you walk in that building, you know, it's a feeling like none other. There's nothing like it until you experience it.
Can't imagine. On any level, you know, we talk to athletes of all different sports throughout and coaches of all different sports throughout, and you get on that level, and I can't imagine what was building up inside of you and getting ready to perform. But obviously, it's, as you said, something you've been wanting and working for, practicing for a long, long time. You were a freshman, is that correct? Are you back in the fall?
Actually, I mean, in school, I'm a junior.
Gotcha.
I went to East Mississippi before I went to Northwest. But as of right now, yes, we're trying to get our open partner to get back in the fall.
Sounds good. I know the fall schedule for Northwest is out and ready to get started in a little bit. I assume you're still working and doing things and still perfecting that craft, aren't you?
Yes, sir. Every day.
I appreciate your time this morning. Congratulations on the results. I know, and this is probably the truth too, right? You know where you guys finished, and you know that there's just another notch or two above to try and reach. How much does finishing, fourth in that average kind of make you want to go back and to taste what it's like to be, number one? Let's go and say it like it is.
Man, there's feelings and thoughts and things when you're at the finals and something happens and you have a bad day or something, and like for us to finish number 4, I feel like there is a chance that we could have finished. If we could do it over or even next year, I feel like there is a chance that we could win. We could win first.
Well, I appreciate you again coming on this morning. Congratulations on what you've done. We'll kind of check out what happens in the fall. Maybe we'll talk again. And thanks for letting me talk a little bit about your area of Alabama as well. Thanks, Laine.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Laine Moore with us on the Northwest Community College Rodeo team. We appreciate his time on the program today at the National Intercollegiate Rodeo Association Finals. Went out there, did great stuff for Northwest, kind of sticking that rodeo team up on the map and doing some good things there with Coach Loomis. And we thank Laine for being on. And even though that the finals just ended, the association has already announced the fall portion of the Ozark region schedule, which is where Northwest competes. 5 events for the fall of 2024, starting with the Viking Stampede at Missouri Valley College. That's in Marshall, Missouri. And that starts September 19 through the 21st. Then after that, they go to the University of West Alabama the next weekend. The Boll Weevil Stampede, that's at the University of Arkansas Monticello. That's in early October. After that, Southern Arkansas University the next week, and they finish the fall finale at Murray State, November 14 through 16. Northwest coming off one of the most successful seasons in program history. Ranger men finished number 22 in the nation, 3rd in the Ozark region. And 5 members, including Laine Moore that we just spoke with, competed in the College National Finals Rodeo, who finished 4th in the average standings and 1st in the Saturday evening short go, as he told us. Thank you, Laine. We'll continue with the discussion, a little orientation, some summer stuff going on. Another student's going to join us. We'll talk with Ava Rogers next.
Thanks for listening to the BankFirst Ranger Hour, your connection to Northwest Mississippi Community College on SuperTalk Mississippi 93.7 and streaming live at supertalknorthms.com. Just click on the link for the BankFirst Ranger Hour.
9:31, so we are midway through this BankFirst Ranger Hour. We want to thank Northwest Rodeo team member Laine Moore, who just joined us. He's taking a little obvious time between the national finals that he just competed in and great results for the Northwest Rodeo team, and then getting back and getting ready to do the fall schedule and more at NWCC. Now she's busy. She's doing things as we speak in and around campus and doing things. Ava Rogers is going to join us. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fine. So let's get a little background. Sophomore at NWCC, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Right.
I'm going into my sophomore year.
Orientation, supervise, you're doing all kinds of stuff away from the classroom as well. So give us something else. Where are you from, high school, and then how did you get to Northwest Community College?
Okay, so I am from Byhalia, Mississippi. I've lived here my whole life. I went to Marshall Academy in Holly Springs for all 12 years. And I discovered Northwest, honestly, just through my high school. It's always kind of been like a close-knitted college that people choose to go to once they graduate from there, and it was always an interest of mine to start out there. My brother also went to Northwest, so that introduced me as well. And I do love it there, and I'm so happy that I chose to go to Northwest.
What's your major?
So that is how I discovered it. My major is marketing. I recently switched it to marketing. That kind of stuff really interests me. I am able to do some stuff on campus that actually relate to marketing, so it all is working out really great.
Well, part of this, being with the orientation and the things you're doing, you are marketing Northwest Community College. I mean,
yes.
they have
yes.
they have you as face of the institution and what you're doing. So tell us a little bit about what you do during orientation. Lead us through what. If a student, a prospective student, or a family is coming in, Ava, what are you doing for them?
So, a day-to-day basis for orientation really starts out where everybody gets there and we just greet everyone and we get to see all these new faces that are wanting to join Northwest. And we just take them through, obviously, some mandatory things just to get their schedules ready, make sure they don't have any questions about that, and we are even able to do some fun activities with them just to kind of break the ice and get them excited. We try our best to warm them up because it is a little nerve-wracking coming there, and it seems a lot bigger before you actually get to know the campus. But we do dances for them and a skit. And we even let them get a free T-shirt at the end of the day and look around the bookstore and just really try to get them excited and warmed up. And so far, it has been a very good couple of dates that we've had with it because everybody seems to be really excited, and I really haven't even encountered anybody that seems super nervous about it yet. So it's honestly just been great all around.
You come from a school that had obvious small class sizes, and Northwest will keep
yes.
it obviously smaller than one of our four-year institutions, whether you're going to Ole Miss,
yeah.
Mississippi State Southern. How does that affect you and your experience at Northwest as well, that you have, access to the professor, access to the staff and things
yes.
in and around there? How does that help you?
Yeah, so that was another big reason why I was very interested in Northwest, as well as a lot of my friends that went there too. It's just a wonderful place to start out, especially if you went to a small private school or just a small school in general, because you really do feel closely knit with your professors and your classmates, because the buildings and the rooms are still a pretty decently small size compared to a high school building or a high school classroom. And I really did feel like I was able to get a lot of hands-on help with stuff that I wasn't expecting, but going into college, I didn't realize that it was going to be so closely knit. And once I got there, it really did feel kind of like a home away from home in a way. And it just I felt very comfortable there, always.
What are you doing, and what are our orientation times now going on at NWCC?
So really, I have just been trying to help out with Northwest as much as possible, on and off orientation. With orientation dates, like, it's kind of been a wild ride. Like, I've never experienced something like this before. And it is so fun. I'm so grateful for the experience. But I also am interested. I've just become a Pathfinder for Northwest, so that's another wonderful experience. It's very similar to orientation leader. You get to also kind of help give tours, just help around campus, help people that work at Northwest, and really just get involved. And that's one great thing about orientation that I love, is I'm just able to get super involved with people that are coming. It'll be like a familiar face if they see me or I see them, and as well as people that go to Northwest already that I'm doing orientation with. It's honestly helped me grow a lot of friendships.
Working with Jenny Hertz, she's been on the program a lot, and the different ones in and around the staff. You've got great leaders there too, don't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Talking again with Ava Rogers, she's helping us out a little bit with what's going on. So how do we get students connected, and what are we doing here in the summer to get everyone prepared for the fall semester and what's coming up here soon?
So my best, like, I've noticed with orientation especially, I've already seen it happen in front of my face. A lot of students have already been asked to do some on-campus activities when school starts. There's a thing called TRIO. That is a wonderful program. It's kind of like a tutoring service, and students can help out with that. I've seen people sign up for that already. Pathfinder, I know a lot of new people have joined Pathfinders, so there's a lot of new faces for that as well. People can also, when they come to orientation or even get on the website, there are so many opportunities that we throw out that they would probably love to join or do. And we just try to throw out to get involved to all the students, and we give ideas of what they could do, their interests, content teams, Pathfinder, even become an orientation leader next summer, because that's a very likely chance that people would want to do that as well.
Excellent. What are your plans past Northwest? Have you thought that far?
Yes, I have. So I'm planning on attending the Northwest Oxford campus this coming up semester. And following that, my plan is to attend Ole Miss and hopefully continue my marketing major.
Excellent. We wish you the best of luck in that. And we thank you for what you're doing right now for yourself and for the other students in and around Northwest. I appreciate your time this morning. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. That's Ava Rogers joining us today. A chance to talk with her about Northwest Community College, orientation leader, going to be a Pathfinder. Changed the major to marketing. I think we can hear in that voice there's some marketing in there, isn't it? Right? And that's what she's doing for Northwest, and sounds excited to continue her work and what she's doing, whether it's right now with NWCC, but then, moving on and doing some other things eventually. Thank her for being on the program as well. Two more good ones, two students that have been on with us today. Always enjoy that conversation. Listen, if you're looking for a little entertainment this weekend, Miss Leanne Rhymes will be at the Heindel Center for the Performing Arts on Saturday. She'll be, I think she's actually in the St. Louis area tomorrow, and then in Senatobia, 7:30 Saturday night. Now, there might still be some seats for you. Not a bad seat in the house at the Heindel Center for Performing Arts. So we encourage you, if you wish, go grab some of those tickets and go see Leanne Rhymes. You can go to HeindelCenter.org, HeindelCenter.org, and you can go and check out and see what seats are still available. And there are still some really good seats that are available for you to see Leanne Rhymes coming up Saturday, 7:30, on the Northwest campus at the Heindel Center for the Performing Arts. So you can go, click on the tickets. You can see the seats, where they are, what's available. Go grab some and enjoy a good night of entertainment there in Senatobia with Leanne Rhymes Saturday at 7:30. And the Heindel Center already, as we've talked with Dr. Blake Bostic, who runs the Heindel Civic, the Heindel Center, for the performing arts. The fall schedule is out. So after, we get through this one with Leanne, who had to reschedule a little bit, kind of finishes up the spring portion of things. You move into August, and we'll get our Elvis tribute, and then on into everything else from comedy, other music, musicals, or whatever acts are there. You can go find them too at HeindelCenter.org. That simple. Little Leanne as we go into the break. We'll come back and we'll finish up this BankFirst Ranger Hour. Hang on with us.
Life can bring, I've always needed something, but I've got all I want and it comes to loving you. You're my only reason, you're my only truth. I need you like water, like breath, like rain. I need you like mercy from heaven's sky. There's a freedom in your arms that carries me through. I need you.
We're talking Rangers this hour. Thanks for joining us for the BankFirst Ranger Hour. It's a special conversation about Northwest Community College. There's a campus near you, and you can join the conversation by texting to 662-426-1093.
Ava Rogers, our second guest. We thank her for being a part of our program today here on Super Talk 93.7. Great voice for the school. Marshall Academy, Byhalia, Marshall Academy, Northwest. Next up, moving to the Oxford campus, she said, to finish up a few things, and then Ole Miss. But student orientation, leader, pathfinder, just another great spokesperson for Northwest Community College. We thank her for the time this morning and being a part of our program. Have yourself a good Thursday, my friends. Remember, you will have this show in podcast form a little later on today, anywhere you get your podcast. Check out the BankFirst Ranger Hour in case you missed anything. Thanks to Laine Moore. Thanks to Ava Rogers. We appreciate the students for joining us today and you for being with us as well. Talk to you tomorrow. So long.